statements issued by hosts, co-hosts, guests, and anyone else appearing on the show do not reflect the stance of the College of New Jersey or the NJDOE OSE. Please use your professional judgment when implementing strategies and resources within your practice.
Switches and apps, little adjustments, big impact. The AT Center presents AT Talks, where every voice...
Hey listeners, Brian from the future here. To make sure we give Jessica Smith's groundbreaking work the full attention it deserves, we've split this awesome conversation into two parts. This way we can really dig into her whole journey, from creating the first responder communication boards to becoming a self-advocate, an innovator in adaptive technology. We hope you like part one. Welcome back to TCNJ AT Talks. We're the podcast affiliated with the Assistive Technology Center at TCNJ, and we're here to inform, educate, and empower listeners about assistive technology. I'm your host, Brian Kenyon, owner of Kenyon Learning Consulting.
And I'm Vanessa Lombardo. I'm the project director of the Assistive Technology Center here at TCNJ.
And I'm Madison Bronstein. I'm a speech-language pathologist and assistive technology professional with the center.
And today we're so honored to be joined by an incredible self-advocate and AT innovator, Jess Smith. Jessica graduated high school in 2023 and is autistic. She began her AT journey back in 9th grade when she started creating communication boards for police departments, afraid she might have a bad interaction due to her mental health. This project has since earned her the AAC Presenter of the Year Award from the NAC KNAAC Awards. Today, she's working even deeper in AT, making adapted switches and coding games. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Was that a good introduction, or is there anything you would like to add to that and let us know more about you?
It's good.
Yeah. All right, cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do what I like to call a fit check, or actually what the young kids like to call a fit check.
The kids these days.
The kids. For those not in the know, it's a quick representation of our description of ourselves. So I'll go first. I'm a white man. I'm in my late 30s with a buzz cut. I'm almost 40. Let's be honest. I'm 39. 40's around the door.
That's still 30.
I have a short beard. And today I was wearing a gray sweater. I took that off, but now I have a blue polo on, dark brown khakis, and I have some black boots because it has become winter here in New Jersey.
All right. Well, I'll go next. I'm Vanessa. So I'm a white woman, middle-aged. I have shoulder-length brown hair. Today I am wearing a black and white dress and also boots because it is cold here in New Jersey.
Awesome. And I'm a white woman as well. I don't know whether to say young or on my way to middle age.
You're younger than us.
Okay.
Exactly. You're younger than us.
I have long blonde hair and I'm wearing a turtleneck sweater and it is green.
Jessica, would you like to describe yourself?
I'm wearing a Christmas AAC shirt, communication, alternative communication. And I have my hair in a ponytail. I'm a young adult, and I'm also wearing a scarf with board maker symbols on it for communicating for people with autism and other disabilities.
That's
I didn't
cool.
notice
If
that.
you were,
That is really cool.
and my question actually next is, if you were to take that scarf off, could you use that as a board if you needed to? A
Sure.
communication board. Yeah. That's really cool. All right. So, Jessica, we want to get our listeners a chance to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to do 2 rounds of rapid fire questions. These are a whole new set for season 2. We thought we'd revamp them. And so the first round is going to be a fun round, and then the second round is going to be more AT focused. So, Vanessa, you want to start us off?
Sure. All right. So the first question is, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Probably, it's in the middle. So, ever since I graduated high school, I'll sleep until 11 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I like going to bed somewhat early at like 9 o'clock. So I'm kind of in the middle.
All right.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. Do you prefer a physical book, audiobook, or an ebook if you're reading?
Probably a audiobook if I were to read because it's easier for me to be able to listen and interpret stuff.
Do you have a favorite audiobook or genre you like to listen to? Like
Not
type of
really.
audiobook? No. That's cool. All right, I'll do the next one. Dine in or take out?
Dine in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Excellent. If you were gonna have dessert after you dine in somewhere, would you prefer a cake or a pie?
Probably a cake.
Any specific
Funfetti.
Oh, yes! Oh, that's wonderful. Funfetti.
Love it.
That's my favorite too, actually, to be
Perfect.
honest.
All right. Are you a Windows person or a Mac person?
Mac. My mom's a Mac person too.
Awesome.
Cool. Do you use any of the built-in accessibility features on the Mac?
My favorite thing to do is with the accessibility is to go on YouTube and make it switch scan and go
Oh,
through the
Mm.
videos.
cool. Um, Next, board games or video games?
Board games.
Do you have a favorite board game?
Not really. Well, Exploding Kittens.
Can you I've heard of that game before. What is that game?
So it's a game where you have to put down cards, and if you get the exploding kitten card, you're out. So they have
Ah.
it's based off of cats. I love cats, so it's
Right.
one my favorite one that I imagine every time one of my cat froze up is there's a cat and it's called a catermelon, and it has a cat shooting out watermelon seeds and it says hack soup.
That's
That's
funny.
funny.
Oh, that's great. Very cool. So in terms of music, what is either the last song you listened to or just a favorite song that you have?
I'll listen to heavy metal or rap. So my favorite rap artist is NLE Choppa, and I can't really talk much about his music. It's pretty bad.
All right. Excellent.
How about heavy metal? Do you have a favorite band there?
Um, Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay. Have you ever seen them? I know I've seen them around here. I've never listened to
No.
them. No.
All right. What is your favorite app on your phone that isn't work related? So something you like for
Hmm.
fun.
It would probably be YouTube or Instagram.
Awesome.
I
Very
have to be
cool.
honest, I don't know if any of my favorite apps would be work related, right?
Well, this is a good point. This is a good point. But you never know. You never
That's
know.
true. If you could instantly learn one skill right now, snap of your finger, what would it be?
Well, one thing I'd like to do is I really wanna learn how to solder switch adapted toys. So right now, my dad does all the soldering and I'll do battery interrupters, but that's one of my big goals to,
Wanna-
learn to solder.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Get your hands in there.
Mhm.
Excellent. And the last one, where is the next place that you would like to travel to?
Um, that's gonna be one I had to think about. Probably would I don't know, I just really like to go anywhere where there's the conferences I go to.
Right, you just
Very
recently
cool.
went to ASHA, right, in DC?
Yeah, and then I'm going to ATIA in Orlando in
Excellent.
January.
We will be there
Awesome.
too.
Yep.
You like to
Would
do any other things in Orlando there?
Not really, I'm not really a Disney person.
Not a Disney person? Fair.
I understand, neither am I.
All right. I
Wonderful.
think we're going to shift into asking a few AT related questions. So thank you for those responses so far. The first one is, who is your professional hero or inspiration?
Probably, Therese Wilkom with her, corrugated plastic stuff.
Hmm.
She's always creating pretty neat stuff, and I like trying to figure out the stuff in her book, and she's always very good with helping me if I am stuck with one of her projects.
I met
And
her
she's
at
also, like, one of my favorite AT people because of a lot of stuff she does.
Mhm.
yeah. I was gonna say I met her at Closing the Gap. Her body of work is so interesting and, wanna delve more into her book for sure.
Yeah. She had 3 books. Just the newest book is the easiest. Well, it's her book's complicated to follow, but it's pretty good. I've made a couple, like I don't think I have a picture of it, but I she had a, pen grip where you got a stress ball and you poked a hole through it and you stuck a pen or pencil in there and then you could grasp it and write with it. That was probably the easiest
Mm.
one I did in her book.
So cool.
Yeah, she's very creative. Very cool. And the last question, what is one thing you wish general education teachers knew about assistive technology?
I wish they would know more about the switches, and I wish they would talk to the students and, like, start clubs to get the younger generation into AT.
Mm.
When I was in school, my even my special education teachers didn't really know much about AT, and that was a little shocking now that, like, you had to do it in the IEP. But, I wish there would be more groups for people young people in AT, like an after-school club.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be something that maybe, that's something that you could probably even start now, right? You could start an AT club. I
Yeah.
agree. It's not so much that they don't know, it's that, there's a good saying, "You don't know what you don't know," and, there's so much assistive technology out there that some of those special education and even gen ed teachers, might know about some of it, but then they don't know about other ones, and so there's many times I go in and, many the teachers know certain things and how to magnify or change the polarity or the contrast and stuff like that, but they might not know about switches like you said, or AAC communication boards and devices and things like that. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, and I think
And
about some districts, they're having a lot of like maker spaces and kind of engineering or like robotics, kind of
that
clubs.
was
And
my thought
that's,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, it's related. It's different for sure, but you never know. There's lots of synergy between all
Y
that stuff. So,
yeah,
one
getting
ok
those students involved too, students who
hmm
maybe are in
definitely.
an engineering club, how that could cross over, so that's a
Hmm
really interesting idea.
Then also I wanna jump in again. I'm with the RESNA Maker SIG,
hmm
and we are doing lots of projects on trying to get younger people and the AT and, like, brand new makers into it.
hmm
So
Yeah, it's a
we're
great.
we're doing a lot of work. We're meeting monthly, and I'm gonna be presenting on one of our projects at ATIA.
that's cool.
That's really
There's
exciting.
And you since you're on Instagram, Jessica, there's also, some cool accounts to follow like yours, but, it's Temple's,
Oh,
Tech
the
assistive
Owl.
owl.
tech
The,
owl,
Mhm.
yeah, Tech Owl Project.
ATA or PA or some tech owl, I can't remember, but yeah, that's really cool too. I like looking at their
Hmm
what they're doing, what they're 3D printing, what they're making, and the
Yeah,
toys they can make and all that kinda stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of great events and content for sure.
Cool.
And, I got my switches.
Oh, you brought some with you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Would you like to show us any of them real quick?
So I have this switch. It says press, so when I bring it to events, people know to press it.
Mhm.
hmm
And I don't 3D print them, but I've been using Tinkercad to make designs for the tops. So you
I
just
like that one.
screw it on,
Does someone
and
Little
then
else
you
3D
can
print
pumpkin
plug it in.
one. Oops,
does someone
sorry.
else
Yeah,
3D print
so
them?
yeah, so I have there's, like, local hobbyists around my neighborhood, local people around my neighborhood, and I used to get it done at my local library, but I noticed they weren't as experienced printing it. So I have a guy who's really good about 3D printing for me, and I'll just send him the STLs of the stuff.
That's cool.
Awesome.
I just got a 3D printer and I've been, messing around with it. One thing I've been wanting to make is a stand for iPad so you can scan documents into the iPad and make it very easy for someone. But, making switches sounds, like, really cool too.
And Therese, I'm gonna share this with you. Remind me to share you this afterwards. But there's a website, Illinois State 8 AT program, has a whole bunch of tablet stands and all that you can 3D print.
Oh, they have them already, like,
Like, they
the
have
STL
the
files?
STLs online.
Okay, that's cool. Alright, cool. Thanks for, indulging us in, those questions. They're usually a lot of fun. But Jess, your story is so powerful. You started the project where you make the boards for law enforcement and first aid responders. Can you take us back? What was the specific fear or the moment that made you think I need to build a solution?
So I had a lot of mental health issues going on, and that was causing it was getting worse and worse, and it was really scaring me that the police might have to get involved, and, like, what happens if they're gonna, like, arrest me or, like, not understand my autism. So what we did was we started, talking to more police officers, and, I actually went on a school trip to talk about the special ed department was brought to the county 911 center, and there were cops there, and I brought my communication boards, and I was able to show them to the, first responders there and the people that work in the emergency services, like, behind the scenes people.
That's awesome. And
What
what
was there? Yeah,
I was just
you
gonna
could
ask
say
the
medicine.
same thing. What was their reaction?
Yeah.
They were a little shocked, they liked them. Um, they actually use them a lot now. They thought it was a really cool idea.
Do they use them with just AAC users, or have they found that they can use them with other people as well?
They can use them with people who, like, are an accident victims, like, if, like, they're too angry to talk or if they are, like, really hurt, they can, like, use the boards.
Right, so it's one of those things where it's tech for all, right? So it's not just
Yeah.
for those who use it all the time, but someone who that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Jess. Um, and we can go more into that topic. I did want to ask about you mentioned to us that you started working at an arcade as well, working with uh, an arcade called Game on State and integrating your projects into that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So, back when I was in my senior year of high school 3 years ago, we went on a trip. We were gonna be doing some community volunteering, and we finished early, and we happened to walk around, and we found a shop called Game on State, and, we went there, and I had a good time, and as we were leaving, I saw somebody that had an AAC device. So I was like, "Oh, that my teacher, he has an AAC device." I didn't really think much of it, and then when I was coming back the second time, we were thinking about going back for a school field trip. I was like, "Well, why don't we go there?" And I happened to go on their website, and they said, "We hire people with disabilities," and I was completely shocked. And I showed him my teacher the news story, and he was like, "We gotta go back." So I made a communication board for them, and the owner, Amy, got really excited. And then I ended up starting to come to the events more and more, like, during the week, they have, like, life skills events, they have karaoke, they have, like, a friendship group, an art group, and I started noticing some of the kids were well, they're not kids, the adults were having, struggling with certain things, so, like, some of them, one of the girls with autism, she needed help transitioning, so I made her a first then board and lesson packs, and also, there's this one boy who I met who had the AAC device. He, likes switches, so I brought in a power link, and they fill one of their jobs there is they fill up the inflatable balls for the claw machine. And we plugged my power link into a, ball inflator, and he had so much fun pressing the switch and inflating the balls. And it was one of those things where, like, the owner doesn't get completely what I do, but when she sees me doing it, she, like, goes through the roof, and she's always telling me and my mom she likes how I observe what's going on and then think of how I can make something for them.
Awesome. And for those of you who are listening and don't know what a power link is, it's a way to make something work with a switch. So you plug the thing with a plug into the power link, and then that can be accessible for that. So um, love that. Thank you for sharing about that, Jessica. I was just thinking about how integrating these communication boards that you make can also just make an environment more inclusive. So you have people who are maybe non-speaking or maybe prefer to use that as a communication method, but also, like in my experience, siblings, friends
Mhm.
really love to use the device or the communication board, and how that's creating like a really inclusive opportunity for everyone who's at the arcade or wherever the communication boards are. Awesome.
Cool. Jess, we'd like to do a deep dive onto those first responder boards if you don't mind.
Yep.
Can we talk about the board itself? So what's on it? So what's on it first? Let's talk about that.
So it has pictures, like, of cell phone for, like, if somebody needs to have their caregiver or parent called, it says "Call home." Some of the pictures I were asked to do sign language for,
Hmm.
so I have a sign language board, and then I have a board with just images.
Do you know sign language or
Not really. I
okay.
know some of the basics words, but that's about it. And then, like, there's a picture I need a break if the person's having a sensory overload, and then sensory toys, noise canceling headphones.
So it's like a mix of, some topic specific words, maybe some core vocabulary words, and also some phrases.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
I actually want to work on getting more core words in my board. I want to start looking, see if I can revise the board and add more core.
And then that's the next question. How do you decide what phrases or pictures are most critical? How do you decide what you put on your boards?
So I basically just picked them all at random initially, like thinking what I would need.
Mhm. And then did you get feedback and they said, "We need more of this and
A
that,"
little
or
bit. So one of the things that were feedback I got was that they wanted me to put on some ASL.
cool. Did you have any help with that ASL, or how'd you figure out the ASL part since
They
yeah.
have the symbols built in the board maker.
Oh, okay. Cool. See, that's
So
something I was gonna say, though, that's something then you can go next, Madison. That's something I didn't know because, I don't do a lot with AAC boards and things like that, and, that's one of those things we were talking about before where, you know what you don't know what you don't know. So that's really
Absolutely.
cool. I didn't know that.
I just wanted to echo for our listeners who maybe are unfamiliar with some of these terms. We're talking about these topic-specific words. Those are called fringe vocabulary. So things like police, autism, um, your phrase-based vocabulary, like Jess was talking about. I need a break or I need a sensory toy. And then your core vocabulary, those are words that you use most often in your everyday speech. So words like more, not, help, etc. So
Now, what do you use Boardmaker Online? What do you use, Jessica?
I use Boardmaker 7,
Mhm.
and that's a downloadable software. I also use lesson picks and I also use symbol sticks.
Cool.
have you experimented with any? I know there's a couple new softwares that are like AI powered. Have you used any of those new ones?
Not yet.
No.
That's kind of a struggle that like with the subscription and all.
Right. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
But it is something I'd like to try.
Yeah, definitely just see how they compare. Awesome.
That's a
Going off of those boards, where do you put your boards? Like, where do your boards go? I know we were talking about um, the arcade. We were talking about in the hands of first responders. Are there any other
So
places?
the the officers will keep them in their car.
Okay, awesome. Do you ever put them? I know there are things such as playground communication boards. Do you ever put them like on um, lawns or outside where people could access them?
So I have me and my mom has started making I designed a board and she'll use her print on demand shop and she'll get my boards printed on yard signs. So Toby Dynavox, who does AAC devices for people who are non-speaking, they actually shared it, my fall sign, because I used their software, their PCS symbols to create the sign.
That's awesome. Did they share it on their social media?
Yes.
Awesome. And kind of going off of that, you have an active Instagram presence. What
Mhm.
besides that? I mean, we could talk more about that, but what are some of your biggest, um, projects or posts that have gotten a lot of engagement through Instagram?
So my big ones are when I go to conferences and share pictures.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Do you have a favorite conference you've been to in the past year?
so ATIA is pretty good.
I love ATIA.
Um, I think ATIA and ASHA usually is a pretty good conference. They usually are giving out a lot of stuff. So,
What kind of good stuff have you gotten from them?
so this year, 2 weeks ago when I went, I was talking to a lady there about my first responder boards, and she actually gave me this nice big foam communication board for like the hospital.
Wow, awesome.
And that's a wrap on another episode of AT Talks. A huge thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We love making this podcast and building this community with all of you. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. The team at the Assistive Technology Center at TCNJ is dedicated to supporting educators across New Jersey. If you were inspired by today's discussion and want to bring high-quality, free professional development to your district, Vanessa and Madison are ready to help. To learn how you can partner with the center and build capacity in your school, head over to our website. You can find all the information you need at atcenter.tcnj.edu. And while you're there, we want to hear from you. Visit the podcast tab. There you can send us a question through our Google form, or even better, leave us a voice message on SpeakPipe for us to play live on the show. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all our latest events and resources. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube with the handle @ATCenterTCNJ. And don't forget to subscribe to AT Talks on whatever platform you're listening on right now so you never miss an episode. On behalf of Vanessa, Madison, and myself, Brian, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Experts and users side by side, sharing what really works. The AT Center presents AT Talks, fueling student success.